The first CEO of a Fortune 500 company is stepping down in the midst of the Me Too movement. CBS chief Les Moonves is leaving the company after new sexual misconduct allegations. RT's Trinity Chavez has the story.
The list of women who say they were harassed by Moonves is growing. Now 6 more women speaking to the New Yorker detailing the disturbing allegations of sexual misconduct against the longtime CBS executive. Today, Leslie Moonves of CBS is out. After 2 decades at the company, the former CEO and chairman has left CBS after months of legal battles. News anchor Norah O'Donnell speaking out about it on CBS this morning.
There is no excuse for this alleged behavior. It is systematic and it is pervasive in our culture. And this, I know, is true to the core of my being. Women cannot achieve equality in the workplace or society until there is a reckoning and a taking of responsibility.
This is the second instance of sexual misconduct at CBS, only 10 months after news anchor Charlie Rose was fired from the network after harassment allegations surfaced. Now, less than a year later, the network faces new fallout after 6 new women speaking out about new allegations of sexual misconduct against its former CEO, Les Moonves, spanning over 3 decades.
I need that advantage.
Moonves, responsible for overseeing some of the biggest shows of all time, like Survivor.
Michaela.
What? The Big Bang Theory.
1-0, sweet.
And CSI. One of the women, a veteran television executive named Phyllis Golden Gottlieb, told the publication about how Moonves forced her to perform oral sex on him, exposed himself to her during an office meeting when they were alone, and when he physically assaulted her in 1986. She said, he reaches over and pulls me up and throws me, I mean hard, against the wall. Gottlieb didn't report the incident at the time because she was a single mother supporting 2 children and feared for her career. She said, I realized he was the new golden boy. I just kept quiet. But the incident, she said, never left me. Former massage therapist Deborah Katay says Moonves harassed her when she gave him massages at his office and home in the late 1990s. On one occasion, she said that he requested sexual acts during a session, and in another instance, he exposed himself to her. She repeatedly told him that she did not do that kind of work. Another woman described experiencing various forms of unwanted kissing or touching by Moonves, saying that she struggled to report the incident. She said, I didn't want my livelihood to be jeopardized. One former assistant who claims that Moonves coerced her into oral sex says it was very violent, very aggressive. There was real hostility in it. Another accuser said he's cunning, he's calculating, and he's a predator. CBS releasing a statement saying that $20 million would be paid immediately in support of the Me Too movement. At least 6 other women previously accused Moonves of offenses ranging from unwanted advancements to sexual assault. Today, the former CBS executive responding to the latest allegations in a statement. He says, the appalling accusations in this article are untrue. What is true is that I had consensual relationships with 3 other women some 25 years ago, before I came to CBS, and I have never used my position to hinder the advancement or careers of women. According to CBS, a severance package for Moonves will be withheld pending the results of an ongoing investigation into the allegations against him. Moonves was eligible for as much as $180 million if fired without cause, but according to recent reports, Moonves could receive a potential payout of $100 million. Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
According to an SEC filing, Moonves will advise CBS for 1 year in order to provide for a smooth transition of his duties. The network will also provide the former executive with office services and security for up to 2 years. For more, we're joined by Reese Everson, attorney and founder of Babes in the Workplace, a veteran of the Hill who's had experience in handling this situation for herself as well as other women, guiding them through this process.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Listen,
Thank you so much.
It's almost a year later, and we're still talking and dealing with executives of networks. In fact, probably the largest, the biggest executive that was still up there being removed, and the most powerful man stepping down. Absolutely. Why did it take this long for Moonves to be held accountable when the first accusations came out in July? Did it mean because the higher you are, the more numbers you have to have in order for you to be held accountable for your actions?
Unfortunately, it seems to be that way. In order to topple a giant, you have to have multiple
multiple people working together. And unfortunately, when one woman comes forward by herself, she's this lone woman, and her credibility is brought into question, she's attacked. So usually it's not enough for just one person to come forward. And so you have to have multiple stories telling the same thing so that people will say, oh, well, maybe there's some truth here, unfortunately.
Well, and Moonves is reportedly staying on for a year as a consultant and possibly receiving, like they said, up to $120 million in his settlement agreement. Many of the women in these stories are coming out and saying, like Jessica Pallington said, it's completely disgusting, and she wants all of his money to be given to someone that's helping out. You think she is justified in taking away this man's future money earnings from his job and all of his work?
Let's be clear. This man has not. He has been able to build a very, very long career at the cost of these women who he's hurt. Okay, and so if he does lose out on a cushy pillow, it's okay. Why? Because in all of these years since 1985, he's steadily been making a paycheck. And so if it's true that he has been found to, if he's been found to have sexually assaulted and harassed women, then every single dime of the money that he's supposed to receive should go to a Me Too movement defense fund and to help other women come forward, because CBS doesn't want to be on the wrong end of history, and there's no need to continue paying this person any contract when he's offended and broken, the proper behavior for a person in his position for this many years. It's ridiculous.
Well, I want to look, there's been so much discussion of this over the past year. I want to look at the bigger picture and moving forward from it. Most of these allegations that have come out over the last year and a half are from years ago, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Nothing during the last 2 years. Do you think we have finally started to change the culture within at least the media, but possibly that might filter down into other industries, that these types of actions are not allowed anymore?
One would be hopeful. Unfortunately, I don't feel that that's something that's going to carry the weight. Why? Because at the end of the day, people still are willing to abuse their power, to take the risk, and to do what they believe they can get away with. And so it just depends on the situation. The players may change, but if you have people who are comfortable taking the risk and abusing their power, you will find women who are vulnerable to these situations, and you will find new women who have been targeted. And so yes, there has to be training. Yes, the times may be changing. Women are learning new tactics and willing to stand up more, but we definitely have not crossed the threshold where sexual harassment in the workplace is no longer a threat. We're not there yet.
Well, thank you for all of your work as you continue on this very, very noble cause, and hopefully other women will see your strength and continue to grow as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.